Hey guys, just wanted to make a quick video because the other video with the Tesla maintenance got a lot of views, and I guess it's a hot topic. And I just want to kind of speak to that real quick. I just want to say this: Tesla is a computer and a software company first, and it's a car company second. Once again, it's a computer company, not a car company. And I mean, like, the car is driving itself. I'm in my Tesla right now, and sometimes it's just phantom braking, which is another thing we should talk about, right? And those of you who have Teslas know that. But man, to all the people that are saying like you don't need maintenance in Tesla, here's the thing about maintenance and vehicles in general: anything that has moving parts is going to need maintenance. To the guy that says torquing bolts is automatic, okay, so I don't know any bolts that torque themselves. There's actually a recall out for Tesla, the lateral links for the bolts coming loose. That is a known issue. And if you never take your car in for maintenance, it'll never be caught. So if a lateral link falls out, I mean, your car is done. You're gonna run into a wall, concrete wall. If you live in North Carolina and there's annual state inspections, I guarantee you, people are driving the cars in and driving them right back out. They call it a safety inspection, but the safety inspection in North Carolina is a joke. They charge $13.75. The state takes like 75 cents, and then the garage gets like whatever, 12 something. Dude, nobody's gonna even want to put that on the lift. Even though it's a legal requirement, I guarantee you they're not lifting these cars. They're just running it through the system and backing them out. Why and how do I know this? Because I've seen it happen. And I guarantee you, just look. And then even if they do lift it up, they're not gonna take the tires off. That's not a requirement in North Carolina. The only requirement where the tires have to be off the car is if they hear brake noise. You're not gonna hear brake noise on a Tesla because it doesn't use, because of the regen braking. They don't even need to press the brakes when they go in. So with that said, do you need maintenance on a Tesla? Absolutely. Is it automatic? No. The torque stick that you see us using, the wrench, it's a snap-on digital wrench that needs to be calibrated every so often, and it's $500. And you see a technician that's not a $10 or $20 hour technician. He is a high-paid professional, and a lot of these guys touching Teslas are ASE Master Certified. So with that said, I want to move on to something else. Why does Tesla say you don't need annual maintenance? It's a marketing thing. It's all about marketing, and just being in the industry and just looking at what Honda's doing, Toyota, Ford, they're all about the JD Power Associate low cost of ownership. They don't care how it's maintained as long as it lasts till the warranty period. So if you look at the warranty for the Tesla and the drive unit, and if you're okay with having to replace it or having to sell the car or whatever in like 5 years for your Tesla, then go ahead and not do maintenance on it. I mean, that's fine. You don't need to maintain it as long as you just need it to last a warranty period. But if you look up, just search on Google drive unit failure, see what comes up. So I bought 2 brand new Teslas last year. I got a 2022 Model 3 Performance, which I'm driving now. My wife has a 2021 Model Y long range. We are both driving the crap out of these, and the main reason for that is so that we can do research on our own, not take anyone's word for it. I want to know what the drive unit fluid looks like at 60,000 miles. I want to send it out for analysis. You see that there is a drive unit filter on there. There's moving parts in there. So just from what I know and from what I've seen, anytime you have a oil filter fluid, I mean, it needs to be replaced. A lot of people forget about the differential fluid. I mean, we've seen some nasty stuff in differentials, and these aren't cheap. Drive units aren't cheap. Just look at the cost, look at the failures. Some Teslas have 3. If you have standard, a Model 3 standard, you're gonna have 1. Most of the time, you're gonna have 2. If you have like a Model 3, Model Y, long range, or a performance version, you're gonna have 1 in the front, 1 in the back. I mean, they need to be serviced. We've seen situations where the case leaks. We've heard of situations where there's an internal seal that leaks. And then there's like evaporation of the fluid. And it doesn't hold that much fluid. The capacity is not that much, maybe like a liter or something. So if you're leaking oil, if you're leaking fluid, and in the Tesla service manual, it tells you to check for leaks. How are you gonna do that? And you've seen us having to take off all the panels on the bottom. There's like 20 torque screws holding that in. Dude, no one's gonna do that for free. You're not gonna know. Even if your drive unit is leaking, you're not gonna know until it's too late, because that skid plate's gonna catch all the fluid. With Toyota, BMW, here's another example. If you look at the European cars on some of the services, they'll recommend it. One example is brake fluid. All brake fluid is the same. It's either going to be .3 or .4. Very similar components. Made of it's very standard. Well, why does BMW recommend you replace it every 2 years, while like Nissan back in 2003 had no service interval for it, even though it's the same fluid? Brake fluid is known, it's hygroscopic, it's going to absorb moisture, and once it does, the boiling point is lowered and it's going to lock up your brakes. Tesla uses the same brake fluid, and Tesla tells you to check it every 2 years. A lot of people say and buy Tesla and say, oh, I'm going to need absolutely no maintenance. No, that's not true. It's going to be less maintenance because you don't have internal combustion engine, you don't have spark plugs, you don't have an air filter, you have a cabin filter, but you don't have an air filter. Absolutely less moving parts and less parts than a combustion engine. So yes, you need less maintenance. That doesn't mean you need no maintenance. So you can agree to disagree, and that's fine. That's why I'm here. I'm putting myself out there. I own CarMedics in Durham, but I own 2 Teslas, and I check my stuff annually. You don't have to check yours annually, but it's, you know, it's a roll of the dice. I mean, you might be fine. Maybe you'll go 5 years, 5-6 years, and nothing's wrong. Maybe you go 10 years, nothing's wrong. But from someone that's owned 2 Teslas, actually I own 3 Teslas. I own the Legacy Model S 2013 that I had a high voltage battery replacement at 40,000 miles. Let me tell you, these cars are not immune to braking. They're gonna have failures. Just Google it. And when they do break, they're going to be very, very expensive. So what little you can do to maintain these, maintain them. Tires going to be expensive. Most of the services is going to have to do with tires, because they chew tires like crazy. I'm at 27,000 miles on my Model 3 already, even though it's just a year old, and I'm about to have to put a new set on it. So with that said, once again, I'm just kind of rambling on here, but there's a lot of things I said about Tesla. Once again, you can agree to disagree. I would love to hear opposing views, but in my experience, I would absolutely just pay for an annual service where we check everything like we've done in that previous video. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. It just goes through everything. We torque down all the bolts, we do the alignment the correct way, rotate the tires, we take apart the brake calipers, make sure it's not seized. There's a service up above that, and really that brake fluid needs to be flushed out. BMW, once again, requires every 2 years. Same fluid, BMW requires 2 years. And this is another thing I want to point out. The luxury vehicles, they can get away with higher cost of maintenance because that's expected. Like Mercedes, BMW, people know if you buy that, it's going to be a higher cost. So they don't care as much. But if you're buying a Hyundai, then they're gonna opt that out. Like if you look at a Hyundai, they don't have a brake fluid service, even though we've seen locked up brake calipers and boiling brake fluid. They don't have it because the cost of ownership, the gas mileage, all that crap, like matters to car sales. Man, these manufacturers, they care about car sales the most, and you know, maintenance comes second. They don't care what happens when your car fails. Oh, by the way, Hyundai with a 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty. Man, do you know that the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder Sonatas and the Santa Fe's and all their 2.4 liter cars, I mean, they have a engine recall. Their engines are failing. All these oil change intervals of 7,500 miles. We own a Kia too. Man, ours failed at 106. 106,000 miles of V6, where we even maintained it really well. I mean, these guys, these engines and everything like that, all these expensive components, they're not foolproof. And well, and as long as it, you know, lasts what the warranty is, they're not going to care. Or not care as much. So just want to put that out there. Purpose of this video, just wanted to just make a quick video on all the comments, especially on that one where this guy said it bolts torque themselves or whatever. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions.